Welcome. My name is Doug Simcox, and this is Beyond the Chutes. Sam and I are riding for the brand BTC, Beyond the Chutes. Now, Sam is our analyst on our team. His rodeo experience is varied and vast. He was a competitor for more than 40 years, a stock contractor for 30 years, and he has coached and mentored many rodeo athletes. Sam, yesterday was PBR Championship Sunday. What did you think?
I thought it was a unique finals.
Unique finals.
Unique finals.
Have you ever described a rodeo or a finals or a rodeo performance as unique in your life?
I doubt it.
Okay.
This is probably the first time.
Well,
Yeah.
it was, and we're going to get right into it. Yesterday, there were 2 rounds of competition. We had that abbreviated long round, 31 competitors. The way you got in that, you must have scored somewhere in the 6 previous rounds. And then, of course, it all boiled down to 12 riders. And then, I'm just going to throw this out there, a ride with an offer of a re-ride, which wasn't taken, won the round. We'll talk about that a bit later. For 2 weeks, Sam, we followed a very unusual, crazy, unique points race.
Yeah, who would have? Nobody would have ever predicted anything like this. Nobody. And it was interesting, very interesting. I did not know what was happening from 1 minute to the next. It was.
Well, you ought to see my spreadsheets here, dude. I've got spreadsheets. It is crazy. I'm going to keep it all. We'll be able to use it again for the next finals, but crazy, crazy stuff. Hey, yesterday we talked about the race at North Wilkesboro, that NASCAR All-Star race. We were pulling for Austin Dillon in the number 3 car for Richard Childress Racing, the owner, the general manager of the Carolina Cowboys. He finished 17th yesterday, Sam. So he did not get the $1 million.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Too bad.
But what a great event. My goodness, historic. Just like we're doing on this podcast, we spend a lot of time talking about the history of rodeo, specifically in the state of New York. My goodness, it was so neat. You think about that. I think the track sat dormant, unused for 26 years. And they brought it back, and original paving. They didn't even pave the whole track. And just super, super response from the fans, super support from the community, and the drivers just had a blast driving there. So great to see that get out of the cobwebs and make its way back into a very, very prominent race.
Yeah, that's gotta feel great for those guys to bring something like that, to build it back to where they want it.
Yeah.
A lot of effort.
Oh, crazy amount of effort and crazy amount of money. And they really were very, very careful. They said, we don't want to modernize it. We want it to feel like it felt if you were there in 1996. And here's a trivia question. Who was the last driver to win in the then Winston Cup NASCAR driving? Who was the last NASCAR driver to win at that track in 1996, Sam?
Okay.
Yeah.
See, and I know nothing about racing, and Winston Cup brings back memories.
Yeah.
I'll say Dale Earnhardt. He's the only guy I know be driving.
Oh, so close, so close. He was in the top 5, I believe, that day. But okay. Jeff Gordon. Yeah.
Okay. And I couldn't even think of Jeff Gordon's name, but as soon as you said no so close, I said, that guy that looked like a little kid.
Yeah, he did.
I could. Yeah.
That was after he shaved his mustache, which he was attempting to look older with that mustache. 96, he came into the sport in 92, so maybe he was 25, 26 years old at the time. And I saw yesterday on the show, he and Ray Evernham, his crew chief, they went very specifically after winning to win that race, I should say. It was one of the few tracks he hadn't won at. And they also knew it was going to be the last race, maybe forever. And what was interesting, he said, I am still the last points paying NASCAR driver to win at the track, because yesterday was just for fun. $1 million is
Huh.
fun. So yeah, it was neat, Sam.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, and he had to take away something he still got out of there. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
No, very, very cool. Very cool.
last points guy.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. He's a
Uh-huh.
points guy. He still wants to be in the
Mhm.
record book. Don't we all want to
There
be in
you
the
go.
records book?
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. For
yeah.
sure.
Blow the dust off it.
Blow the dust off of it for sure. And I don't know if you know this, I've got the music. Mark Ruse, Cutting Room Music out in LA, sent me the music on Saturday. I put it in our episode yesterday. I threw it out there, right or wrong. I put it in. I got all done editing. I'm like, I've got this wonderful music, Sam. So it's out there. I'm supposed to have a conversation today with Mark, so we'll see what his thoughts are. Becoming quite an advisor of the podcast, so I really appreciate his support. And the music, you heard the music, right? Played it for you the other day.
Yep, really, I thought it sounded great. And I was tapping my toe, and
Yeah.
I'm not much of a dancer.
You're not much of a toe tapper, are you?
No, not
Oh,
much.
okay. So that says something, right? Right off the bat, that
Yeah.
says something. Get up and want to
Hmm.
move. And hopefully that's what our podcast is. Try to wake you up, not put you to sleep. That's our intention. That's our intention. All right. So moving on. Anything to share, Sam? Anything? I'll just ask it. How is Dalen? What's he up to?
Okay. Well, actually, I did talk to Dalen today a couple of times, and he was working cows,
Okay.
and
Okay.
he was steering calves and taking some to the sale barn that weren't bred, and yeah, and he was doing that at his place in DeKalb, not the one where he lives in Sulphur Springs. So
Okay.
he was
Okay.
out trucking around, and Colton went and helped him.
Oh,
So
very, very nice. Very, very nice.
yeah,
And that's he's got the dogs right, and that's a whole conversation in itself. But he's got some good cattle working dogs. That's got to make such a difference in trying to sort and load and all that sort of thing.
I never liked dogs to work cattle and stuff because they were anything I ever had chased them the wrong way.
Hmm.
But when he works his dogs, it's so much easier, so much easier. It's just like wow,
Yeah.
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 He's got it going on because he and he goes to clinics and to guys' places to help them train them and do
Okay.
it right. You know,
And
his best dog, Sassy, what a great dog she was, but he didn't really know what he was doing when he did it, but he was with her all the time. And there was times they'd chase steers down the arena when we were tracking, so he would
yeah.
and run together. It was like, oh boy, I was tired just watching them. But
Oh, that's so
yeah,
neat. And what's really impressive, you got to have good dogs, but you've got to be a good dog handler. And the fact that he's going and getting instruction and learning how to properly handle them, that's so big. That is such a responsibility. And that is just so very cool that he spent the time doing that, Sam.
yeah,
All right, let's transition in then. Let's talk a little bit about yesterday's round. So, this was Sunday's round. There were two rounds. The first round was what we call a long round, although it was abbreviated because you had to have a score. So there were 31 cowboys, bull riders, who had gotten a score through the first 6 rounds of competition. And they came in, they had scores, so they were the ones that competed in round 7. So of the 31 riders, Sam, we had 4 rides in round number 7. And your man, the one you said to watch all the way through, Josh Frost, wins it with a 90.5 point ride.
yeah. That was a great ride. You could just see Josh getting comfortable the last 3 rounds, four
Okay.
rounds.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
he was just getting comfortable and doing what he does. And it
you bet.
was a great ride. And yeah.
Okay.
nice to see it happen.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it here in a little bit as we go review the matchups you had made before we started yesterday's competition. But big news is Jose Vitor Lemi makes qualified ride, puts him into the championship round, scores second in round 7 behind Josh by a quarter of a point, 90.25. And then you had your two sluggers coming in. You had your two sluggers. You had Rafael Jose de Brito on Red Mosquito. We'll talk about this in a bit. Goes 88 and a quarter. And Winston Henrique da Silva ties him. They split third and fourth. And I don't know how you can get a better final, Sam, that it all coming down to a bull ride to determine your champion.
You know, it wasn't who we thought would be in there,
Yeah,
but it was good watching.
exactly.
It was good watching, and you know, it went right down. And it was a personal preference. You know, I was kind of when. Well, we're not into the short round yet, so I don't know
Yeah.
if you want to talk about that. But
Well, yeah,
we
go ahead. Talk about it. Absolutely.
when Winston got a re-ride
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah,
the bull, something either hit the fence or whatever.
yeah.
Um, I said, man, just for giggles, I'd like to see him buck the guy that was winning it first. That way, the pressure would be on him like it was on Winston, and see how that happened.
Okay.
But it didn't happen. They had another re-ride, and they had Winston go before the guy that
Yeah.
had it won before he rode the
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah. Yeah. But boy, I don't know how you can create much more drama. That's like a movie, right? Made for movie finals, just drama from one end to the other.
And that's the way it's been, and that's how they set it up to be,
Yep. Yep.
points wise and everything.
Oh, crazy
A
the
lot of
amount of
drama.
points. Oh, a lot of drama. Man, just everybody's talking about it. All right, let's go to
Yeah.
the matchups, and we'll wrap in here before we get to then the total final standings and the year-end championship. I'm going to give you some information we go through, talking about the guys that we had kind of pulled out before the Sunday rounds started, and said we want to follow these. And I asked you, of course, ride doesn't ride, and if he does, how many points? So we'll start with Dinner Barbosa. If he rides, you said he rides. He goes for 91 points. He was on I'm Legit too. He'd been on this bull before. He placed 89, or he rode 89 and a half in Louisville. He was 90 points in Little Rock, Arkansas. This seemed to be just the matchup, right? Just the matchup for him. And son of a gun, if he doesn't get bucked off at 4.33 seconds, Sam.
And that was a case of pressure.
Okay.
Pressure got to him.
Okay.
He left the chutes. He was stiff
Mhm.
and just wasn't himself. He was in a race to win the world
Yeah.
and win that $1 million, and it
Yeah.
got to him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. And you
That,
can't even imagine. How would you even know even how to think what he's thinking and the pressure? I mean, you're on TV first, and then you're going to ride this. It's going to come down to one or two bulls to determine the $1 million winner, Sam.
yeah, and that's what makes winners.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you can say what you want to say, but and could I have done it? Hell no, I couldn't have done it.
Right.
That's
Right.
what makes winners. They
Yeah.
block it out of their mind and go do what they're trained to do. Let
Yeah.
it take over and do it.
And
And
and to that point, maybe you couldn't have done it the first time, Sam. Okay. However, sometimes what's the saying? Sometimes you got to win one. I'm sorry, you got to lose one. You got to lose one to win the next one.
it's a win one.
I don't know. I don't know.
And and pressure, you know, is what you make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not there.
Yeah.
You do it. You put it on yourself. And I
Yeah.
was terrible at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as you get older, you can stand back and look now
Yeah.
and say, you know,
Yeah.
just do what you're supposed to do because
Yeah.
pressure is only what you put in your own mind.
And that is so true. And we'll cover that. Maybe another 3 hours episode coming up, Sam. Because
Okay.
it's so much. I mean, this is just
Uh,
a you called it a boiling stew, I think, at one day this finals, right?
yeah.
So just fast forward, and then he qualifies. He still qualifies in the top 12 in the round 8. He goes 7.69 on that ride. You got anything to say about that? I mean, good golly, 7.7 seconds.
Yeah. You know, and he rode really good,
Yeah,
really good.
yeah,
But the pressure was off then. He
yeah,
couldn't win $1 million.
yeah,
You know, he was a bull behind.
yeah,
And so,
yeah.
yeah, that's got to be deflating right
Oh,
there, right?
oh,
7-7.
and and he
Yeah,
had such a cool. He only made 2 rides coming in in the finals. He placed ninth in the average at the finals, and he won $61,500.
yeah.
Okay, which put him sixth on the year end championship. He dropped one position from where he entered, and he earned $185,000 on the year.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
just put everything out there in perspective. All right, our next rider, you said would ride. I'm going to take everything back about what I just said. One, you got to lose one before you can win one, because we're going to talk about Rafael Jose de Britro. Not only is he the rookie of the year, he's the year-end champion. You had said if he rides, you said he would ride, and you said he'd go for 90 and a half points. He did ride. He ended up going 88 and a quarter. 88 and a quarter. Anything on that first ride that stood out for you?
yeah. He just was total domination there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that no pressure got to him at all,
Mm-hmm.
and he just he was comfortable. He did his in the chute. You could see he was comfortable, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, it just wasn't a question about if he was going to make that ride. He just did it.
Yeah. So not as good a trip as maybe we've seen on this bull red mosquito. We had Andrew Alvidrez went 91 and a half points on this same bull.
Yeah, and Andrew spurred him around there,
Okay.
so he should
Okay.
have been a couple points more.
Okay.
Uh, so it was probably pretty close to right.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be, and it was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just thought in that round they're going to be, a lot of time the judges will creep up and
Mm-hmm.
get a little more carried away as the week goes on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And
no, it was right spot on. Yeah.
okay. Okay. And we answer a couple questions in your predictions. I said, how many bulls do you got to ride to win the finals? You said 4. Guess what? He won the finals. He did on 4 head.
Finally got one right.
Boy, I'll say.
Finally.
And we made that prediction way back early. I think we made that after the first round where like nobody won, I think. We asked
Maybe
that
after the
question.
first week or something when they
Maybe.
kept,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but
Okay. Well,
yeah,
he ends up number 1 in the average. He makes it the finals. The money he pulled out of the finals for the 2 weekends, 1.390, $1,390,000 he makes on the weekend. Year end
isn't that
position,
incredible?
it's incredible. Year end position, he ended up number 1 in the standings, of course. And that picked up per my numbers. Now, I might be wrong. I did not take a good enough picture as they came in. I was looking more at the draw order and that sort of thing. But I had him as the number 8 position. Or I'm sorry, the number 9 position. He picked up 8 places at the finals. Total winnings for the year, a little bit more than $1.5 million, Sam.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Good for these
Love to
young.
see it when these guys can make big money to be able to life changing money.
You bet. And this
Yeah.
is that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see. Let's move on to Winston Henrique da Silva. You said he'll ride. He'll go 89 points. He did ride. He went 88 and a quarter, so he was 3/4 of a point lower than what you thought he might be. On Ivy League, what did you think of that matchup? What did you think of that ride by da Silva and Ivy League?
Ivy League went to the right this time. It's
Mm-hmm.
been going to the left.
Okay.
And I thought Winston would ride him because he'd go to the left. He was going out there about three and around the end of the gate and, was pretty, really bucked, but into his hand, I thought he'd ride him all day long. But when
Yep.
he went to the right, I thought, oh boy, and he rode fantastic that time, just fantastic, because the bull wasn't easy to ride, and he just turned loose. He kept moving and shuffling his feet and going and going, and
Yep.
he got in a little trouble one time and got back right, and it was done.
It was done.
That was a great ride for the bull he had.
Okay. 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 So then talk a little bit about the short round. A little bit of drama there, re-ride and so forth.
Yeah, they had like three re-rides, I think, in the short
Okay.
round.
Okay.
One I didn't think probably deserved it, but
Yeah.
they gave it to him, so take advantage of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Riding solo, he might have kicked the back of the box, but I didn't
Ah,
think it was any reason to get a re-ride.
right.
And
Right.
but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, they give you a re-ride, you're not ending up on a judge's decision.
Right.
You know,
Right.
uh,
Right.
of course, when Kaiki hit the button last year with Dale, and I thought, oh no, you
Yeah.
might get a rewrite.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
it was over.
Yeah.
I could breathe.
Yeah.
And no, now I can't breathe again.
We got to wait for the review. We got to wait. We got
Yeah.
to wait.
And
Go ahead.
Justin, and he kept up there, he was doing the commentating, and he kept saying, oh, I can't take it, all this pressure. I thought, shit, you ought to went through what I went through last year. You want to feel pressure and nerves.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, you don't even have a vested interest in these guys. It's just exciting to you. I had a vested interest.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully once again, right? We'll have that. We'll get sweating and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. Age another 30 years that week.
Age
But that's
another
okay.
30 years. Yeah.
It was a great week.
It was a great week. Absolutely great week.
Yeah.
So he ends up bucking off his short round bow, 4.93 seconds. Finishes up second in the average, makes $200,000 at the finals, and he makes 4 rides. Year-end positions number 4, I show that he gained 10 spots, so came in 14th and vaults all the way to 4th. Year-end earnings, about $258,000 is what he walked away from, or walked away with, I should say.
Let me get this straight. He won 200,000 there, and his year-end earnings were basically 60,000 for the rest of the year.
Basically 60,000 for the year. Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. And we got others like that. Let's talk a little bit about Jonestown, Pennsylvania. Braidy Randolph, right? 22 years of age, comes in, has a heck of a finals, ends up riding 3 bulls. So you said he'd buck off, and if he stayed on to be an 89.5, he did buck off 2.18 seconds. Bucks off in that long go on the 7th round. Talk a little bit about that Magic Potion. One of your friends, K-Bar C Bucking Bulls. What do you think of that matchup between Braidy Randolph and Magic Portion?
It just didn't look like it would fit him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not surprised. Not surprised.
No.
Okay.
No. I was pulling for him, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
Not surprised at all.
Yeah. Well, he still had a spectacular. He bucks off in the short go, but he had a spectacular finals. Finishes up in the average in 4th place, makes $90,000 there at the finals on 3 rides, picks up 10 positions, came in at 23rd, makes $123,000 for the year, $90,500 at the finals, Sam.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If he gets healed up and and Cody keeps working with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's got all the try in the world.
Yeah.
He just needs a little fine tuning.
When did that happen? When did he get injured, Sam?
He must have broke it again just recently,
Oh,
but
okay.
he did it about 2 years ago,
Okay.
and they thought they were going to have to amputate it.
Right, right,
it, and he he's so tough. He went a long time not knowing he had a broke leg and that
right.
it was that bad till he
Okay.
couldn't take it anymore. And
Okay.
it had gotten so infected and
Oh,
everything that
jeez. Jeez.
that's why they
And
thought they were going to have to take it off.
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So to see him come back in there and what a spectacular I love that he represents the state of Pennsylvania and done such an excellent job with it.
A lot of people were pulling for him back here.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, for sure. No, very exciting. Let's move on. Jesse Petrie. You said he bucks off. He bucks off. 5.35 seconds in the seventh round. He had Bandito Bug.
That Bandito bug the day before really bucked somebody off that was really talented that I picked to ride him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought it just wouldn't be good for Jesse, and it wasn't.
Okay.
You
Okay. So he ends up, he gets bucked off in the short go as well. As you know, there was only one person that rode a bull. We'll get to that in a moment. But he finished fifth in the average. Took away a little over $75,000. Made three bull rides. Year-end position was 12th. He actually at the finals went back one position, and for the year-end standings, I should say. 75 at
uh,
the finals, 162 on the year, including that money.
there's a lot of money to be won at the finals.
A
That's all
lot of
because he didn't
money.
do that great, and to win that kind of money, that's fabulous.
Isn't that neat?
Okay,
I love it.
yeah,
Absolutely, yeah. All right, Boudreaux Campbell, we pulled for him. He got off to a great start. You said he'd ride him, go 88 points. He bucked off in about 2.4 seconds. He was on Cold Creek. And what'd you think of that matchup? You said he was going to ride him. What happened, Sam?
I thought he would ride him because the chips were down, and Boudreaux's been there before,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just so sore that it's hard to ride these things when you're 100%, but when you're about 70%,
Yeah.
it's tough,
Yep.
and that showed.
Yep.
He just couldn't when it came around. He couldn't hold on to nothing. His legs were just, no power there.
So he comes away, rides two bulls over the weekend, over the finals, finishes up 10th in the average, makes about 35,000 there, puts him in the year-end position in 8th place. He loses one place. He'd come in 7th, and the year-end money, all in, all done, was $142,000.
Good for him.
Good for him. All right, moving on. Next is Jose Vitor Lemme. You said he's going to ride him, go 92.5 points. He did ride him, and I'm talking about Jags, Metals, Grand Theft. And I want to remind everybody, remind myself, this was a draft round, meaning these Cowboys all picked in the seventh round the bull that, based on what they'd done the sixth round, as far as the order they could choose the bull, he was able to get back on a bull he had gotten on earlier in the week. He goes 90.5 points, places second in the round, Sam. What'd you think of his ride?
He rode excellent. Uh, Being a draft round, I was at first when he had him again. I thought, how could you do this? But he drafted him the first time, and I guess you can draft the same bull. So um, good on him. And the bull was as weak as I've ever seen him. Nothing
Okay.
taken. He rode his
Yeah.
bull. That's all you can do. But that bull, when he turned back the other way, he was like sluggish, and that bull is
Okay.
never sluggish. He is
Okay.
always just crazy bucks hard. The three trips in a row and two of them with Lemmy might have took the air out of him.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Or
talk
3 trips on the 2 weeks. So
3 weeks
you
on
know,
the 2 weeks. So 3 trips on the 2 weeks. So talk a little bit about that as a stock contractor. I mean, how do you know when to rest them, how to rest them? And on top of everything, they're in a new place, drinking different water, eating maybe different hay, different feed than maybe they've got at the house. What can you do as a contractor to make sure your bull gives just ultimate performance every time?
these guys bring their own feed. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
Okay.
Um, I did that one time at the half hour. I started bringing my own feed. What a difference it made.
Really?
Uh,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, and but I'm sure they bring their own feed. They have their own mixture. The water is different.
Yeah.
It depends and on the bulls. I wouldn't buck mine more than twice a weekend.
Okay.
Weekend,
Okay.
but it depends on the bull. And when you get at this caliber, like he rode him 7, 9 something the first time.
Yeah.
So when you get to this and you get everybody gets on there has a chance to ride them,
Yeah.
it's tough on them.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
very tough. So 3 times in the 2 weeks isn't a big deal,
Okay.
but
And
it can affect each one's different. And that would have been the last bull I thought it ever would affect.
okay.
He would have
Okay.
been the last one.
Okay. Because some
Yeah.
bulls just handle the road better than others. The travel?
Yeah. Some are like what I call my horse, like a riding horse. If he drops his head and eats anywhere and drinks anything, that's a good sucker you can take and don't have to worry about him.
I see.
He's a survivor.
He's a survivor.
He'll do
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
And some of these bulls are walk and pace and
Yeah.
just are nervous the whole time, and
Yeah.
it just takes it out of them.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I've been wondering about that. Do they leave the bull? I mean, they must take the bull somewhere between the two weekends, yes?
I don't know. It looked
Okay.
like this year. It looked like they had a barn there for them. I
Okay.
seen a big, uh, like one of those portable buildings,
Oh yeah, out
uh,
back. And that would
and
make a difference, right? Leave them here, let them get accustomed to things, rest, relax, that sort of thing during the week instead of being hauled.
right.
Okay.
Most events where you're go into these big cities, they find stockyards outside the city somewhere
Okay.
and then haul them in. But look, and that tent could have been for something else, but I assumed it was for housing of the
Okay.
bulls.
Okay. That's great. That's absolutely great. Okay. Good. Well, thank you for that. I'd been wondering about that. So back to Lemmy. He bucks off in the short go, 1.8 seconds, and places eighth in the average. And he makes $87,000 at the average, 145 finals points on two bulls. So that's round points. Year end position is second, and year end earnings about $305,000. Sam.
Yeah, kind of uncharted territory for him uh,
Absolutely.
to only ride 2 bulls at the finals. He's gone in there as a rookie and rode every bull.
Yep. So time to go home, just relax. What would your? I know he's going to be back on teams in July, end of July in Cheyenne. What's your advice to him this time of the year after this finals?
Well, I don't know if I'd give him any advice, but I think what he'll do is go home, probably take a couple of weeks, forget about everything,
Yeah.
and then start playing his soccer and start
Okay.
working on his physical aspects and let his mind get right, and then start getting on practice bulls in
Okay.
another month or so,
Okay.
just to get the feel of stuff. And I don't know what he'll do. He's very intelligent
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
bull riding and the mental aspect, and he just wasn't himself this week,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you could tell.
Okay.
Don't
Okay.
know why.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that happens, right?
And it doesn't take much, It
Mm-hmm.
could be a little something we don't know in the personal life or
Mm-hmm.
something that throws you off your game.
Yep. Yep.
You know,
Okay. All right, let's go to Dalton Castle. You said he'd get bucked off. He did. He in seventh round he won about 3.7 seconds, and because of that buck off Mike's magic, he did not make it back to the short go.
he's hurting pretty bad. Probably going to get a knee operation here shortly,
Okay.
and that bull is one you better be 100% on
Okay.
because he doesn't give you any chance, and he just didn't. Just like every other time, it didn't give you a chance. That is the bull that Dalen had in short go last year
Okay.
that he got the rewrite on.
Oh,
So
the very last
some
that he
the very
didn't. They
last
wouldn't let
bull.
him take.
Yeah. Well, they didn't let him, or
Oh,
he didn't think of it in time, or what. I don't
okay,
know, but
okay,
I'm
okay.
glad he didn't do it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he said, "Man, I could have had a
I
rewrite."
know, I know, I know.
They wanted me to go get it, and it was all TV.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Get your cup. You're the champion. We're done.
We're done. Go home. You've
Yeah.
made enough. Let's go. You worked hard enough.
Mhm.
All right. So he ends up 16th in the average. We're talking about Dalton Castle. Ends up 16th in the average, fifth overall. Time to get healed up, Sam.
Yeah, and that's a tough kid.
Yeah,
He'll come back, and when he does, he'll be strong.
yeah, yeah. All right, Cooper Davis. Cooper Davis. You said that he would buck off, and he did. 5.52 seconds on that bull man hater. And by bucking off, he doesn't advance to the short round. Anything on that matchup that you saw? Anything that surprised you? I should say.
Well, what really surprised me is Cooper didn't have a week like I thought he'd have it all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know and he didn't draw to fit him, but he rides so good you don't have to.
Yeah.
And it just looked like his head wasn't in it the whole time,
Okay.
and he was in the mix to really do well,
Yeah.
and he just didn't look like he was in the game. And I don't know, he's really liking this team thing where they can
Yeah.
pick the bulls, and he can he's almost like an assistant coach
Yeah.
type, and I think he really enjoys that.
You bet.
And he might be looking past this to that. It would not surprise me if he does not come back next year and ride and unleash the Beast Series,
Okay. Okay. S-
and just sticks to the team. I, I don't have anything other than it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know of
No
anything,
inside
but
scoop. Nothing like that.
no inside
Okay.
scoop. Just like his heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Well, of course, he's on the Carolina Cowboys team, so we're going to be pulling for him. And last year, you remember at the start of the season for a few weeks, several weeks, he was injured and wasn't riding, yet he was there for every single one. And you just saw that assistant coach interest in him really blossoming. So I'm with you. I think he'll do more seasons as a team. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's headed to put me in. I need to coach. Where can you put me?
Yeah, and he there was I had something I was going to say, but I can't think of it now. But he, yeah, it just looked like his heart wasn't in it this week. And
Okay.
if your heart's not in it,
Yeah,
hey, no sense of doing it,
you
because
bet.
Lord knows it's a tough game.
Oh, tough, tough.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
I remember what I thought. But when he was injured and came back to the team thing,
Yeah.
he came back with a vengeance.
Oh,
I mean, strong, strong.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
thought the best I've seen him ride since he won the world.
Yep. Yep.
And then to see it go this way, it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
we got to get some inside scoops on this. It's got to be a different experience. You're still riding your bull, but there's a whole team atmosphere. You got a coach. I'm just curious how we saw Marcus Mass. Have to go any further than that. Put me on the right bulls and I'll produce, and he did for Kansas City last year. So I'm looking for more of that sort of insight, because there's definitely the pressure might be different. I don't know. It's kind of like wrestling. We've talked about this in the past. It's an individual sport, but yet you've got a team that supports you. And you have talked about, if you see a good wrestler, there's typically someone else right at his weight, around his weight, that probably is as good as him, and they each push each other. And I think that's got to be part of the component in the team aspect of the PBR teams as well.
yes, and I really believe that. And the Carolina Cowboys are set up for success for that.
Oh my,
Um,
yeah,
you got two young hot shots with Dalen and Josh,
mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
you got the veterans
Yeah,
that I'm just so pleased that Sage. I think Dalen's going to learn so much off of Sage
yeah,
that,
yeah,
and it might not be about bull riding.
yeah,
but I think he's going to learn a lot from Sage. So,
I agree. And the reason I'm laughing, I remember the day I asked you, do you think it's possible that the Carolina Cowboys or anybody, any of the teams could get the number one and the number two? And you kind of made fun of me, Sam. I just have to say that. You kind of made fun of me.
oh, I wouldn't make fun of you, Doug. Now you can make fun of me. Go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
uh,
No, that sounded like as I asked that question, I'm like, oh my goodness, this sounds kind of ridiculous. But
mhm.
thank goodness, right? And back to the
Yeah.
NASCAR connection. Thank goodness for Austin Dillon and the thinking
Yeah.
and the creativeness and the trades. And let's look down the road, maybe 2 or 3 years when we're doing this. So
Yeah, Austin must have faked the outside and dropped to the inside and went around him because
that could
who
be.
would have ever figured?
I know. They must have been looking to the right while he's moving off to the left. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right, let's get back to business here. Your dark horse, right? Your dark horse, Dawson Branton. He comes in.
uh-huh.
You said he'll ride 90 and a half. He bucks off at about 2.49 seconds. Gets still advances because he had ridden 3 bulls to that point, and he bucks off in the short go. Places sixth in the average. $37,000 at the finals on 3 rides, Sam.
Yeah, and the reason I picked him as a dark horse is because I really didn't know the kid,
Yeah.
and he had already ridden 3 bulls, and I said, well, he had to do pretty good to get there.
Yep.
So, and he tried. He really tried
Oh,
just that fourth bull.
the bread
The
basket.
yeah.
Yeah. Is that who
Um,
you're talking about in the seventh? Yeah, seventh
yeah,
round
is
bread
that who?
basket. Yeah.
Yeah, he really tried it. Yeah, I thought he was going to ride it because he was sitting right in the middle, really good when he bucked off. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought, oh, look how smart you are! Oh, you
Yeah.
dummy! uh,
Oh my. Well, and then we then got to go to the one that makes you look absolutely brilliant in your predictions. Josh Frost, you said he rides. He does. 90 and a half points on Dirty Brew, the bull. What'd you think of that matchup? Now, seventh round, gonna qualify you. He only had one ride to that point. He wasn't gonna qualify into the short go if he didn't ride in round 7. What'd you think?
no, he made a great pick. That bull fit him really good right from the start, and I thought it would, and it did. And he did his job, did what he had to do. It was outstanding,
Yeah, yeah,
outstanding.
absolutely perfect. And
Yeah, get no better. He won first,
he
won the
won it
round, so
first. He wins the round.
that
Absolutely.
doesn't get any better.
Doesn't get it. Well, it kind of does. Kind of does get better. Round 8, short round, they score him 74 points. Say you have an offer of a reride. You have an offer of a reride. And he says, nope, I'll take the 74 points. And where does
Okay.
it place him? Yeah, go ahead. Go through the math. Go through the mental
Well,
activity here.
it, exactly my point when I said it can't get any better.
Yeah,
You win first by
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
It can't get any better.
Okay.
That's the pinnacle of it,
That's
you
right.
know.
And
And
74
he did,
points? Who cares?
and exactly his banker appreciated it. Uh, um, yeah, and right off the hop, I was thinking, okay, what's the reride? What's the reride? Does it fit him? And then he said, no, I'm not taking it. I thought, hmm. I still didn't know what the reride was yet, but I thought, well, it probably didn't fit him real good. And what a smart decision because they might not ride one. If they do, you win second.
Right,
So
right,
take
right.
it.
So big money, and I gotta ask, do you know, in the final round, if there's only one rider, in the old days, you've got all the money. So we know it pays first 35K. Do you know do you know how that went? And I bring this up because he placed seventh in the average, and For the finals, he made $157,500. So it
Was that
had to
for the
be
finals or
crown
for the?
money. Go ahead. For the finals.
Oh, I thought that was his total for the year.
All right, let
So
me
he
back
made
up.
a.
No,
Yeah, check that out.
let me go check this out. Let me go check this out. Yeah. Okay, let me go to the website. This is like,
Okay.
what was his name? The guy that had to do the replays? Do you remember? Alan
Yeah,
Jordan?
thumbs up or thumb. Yeah, Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Mark
Josh Frost.
Richmond. Mark Richmond told me that he got all the money. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't say he didn't, but from what I thought you said before he won at the finals, he didn't get all the
The
money. So
results from the finals. $157,500. And
okay,
I
so he
know
must have
that's
got
right
all the money.
because DeBritro is in here showing 1.390 million. Okay, so I know that's right. So that's where
Okay.
he picked up a potload of cash. So
Yep.
okay, now you can compare his finals versus his year end. And remember, he
Uh-huh.
didn't ride but a couple UTBs, right, throughout the course of the year. I show 157,500 for the finals, 160,000 for the year-end position, dude.
Okay, I got it figured out now, Doug.
Okay, okay,
It took me a minute.
okay.
What he got all the money, but
Yep.
I was thinking he won the week before or 2 weeks before he won 50,000 for winning
No, not in
the
this.
Velocity Tour, but
No,
it doesn't count
that
anymore.
no.
It
You're
used to
right.
be a whole.
Okay.
This is the first year none of that money counts.
Yep.
So okay, so that's where I was making a mistake. I was thinking, well, if he must have won 60,000 at Velocity,
Mm-hmm.
and if he won, it didn't make sense. But now, yeah, he got all the money
Yep.
for that
For that
for
short
that
round.
short round.
Good
Yeah.
golly. And you think about how we talked about him, how, my goodness, he's in trouble, he's in trouble, he's in trouble. He rode 3 bulls. And if you think about it, 2 of the 3 came in the 7th round and the short round.
And if you think about it, I think he bucked off 2 of them at long sevens.
Yeah, he did. He did. But boy, he looks so comfortable. Well, of course you do on a 74-point bull. Although that's not always true. They can be hard,
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you talk to him the one before the 74 point or the
Yeah.
74 pointer was harder to ride.
I think you
And
might be right. Yeah.
and I told the boys years ago, I said, there's millions of dollars lost after 7 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Millions. And they kind of foo-fooed me,
Yeah.
oh, you're crazy, you're crazy. There's millions of dollars lost this weekend at 7 seconds.
Absolutely. We saw, and the
Yeah.
commentators talked about that, right? Talked about it,
Yeah.
at 7 seconds, looking out, let me just stay on at this point. Stop
Yep.
moving, and it cost him. But no, gosh, Josh Frost just really finished up the year. And think of that momentum now as he heads out into teams in Cheyenne, and he's a Carolina Cowboy. My goodness, what a team we've got put together there.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. I'm ready for it to start tomorrow. I'll just drive to Cheyenne and watch it
Yeah,
because
absolutely,
hopefully
absolutely.
Colton will be bulldog and Dale will be bull riding, and I'll
Yeah.
go to Cheyenne again.
Well,
If they're both doing it, I'll be there.
that happened a couple years ago. We went out there. D-
Yes, it did.
Dalen was there for the PBR, right? Had a nice round there, and then Colton, refresh my memory. He had done really, really super well, and didn't he break out to advance to the finals?
Yeah, he did really good the first 2 rounds,
Yeah.
and came back in one round to move on again to the final round, and he broke out and he made a whale run.
Yeah.
And that was the one I thought he broke out the first 2 and he didn't. That's I said, "Oh, good, he's out."
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
he wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of our
But
next shows, Sam, has to be a preview. Let's get through all the teams. Let's look at the makeup. Might take more than one episode to get through it. Just kind of what are we thinking? How's it look? And know that these guys should be fairly rested up. Now, is that a true statement, or most of these guys headed out PRCA, Canada, Challenger rounds? Do you do you have a general sense of things?
Yeah, I do. I think probably 75% will stay at home.
Okay.
Uh, 90, probably 9% of the Brazilians will stay at home
Mm-hmm.
and just get ready. And
Okay.
there's going to be a few of them take off and go rodeo and go to the Challenger Series and things like that. But yeah,
Okay.
most of them will lay low.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's good because they
That's
need it.
good. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to the matchups. And I enjoyed this over this last 2 weeks. Remember, we had Josh Frost versus Derek Kobaba. And the cool way we did it, you could always have a winner. You always had a winner. It was either on who scored the most points or who simply stayed on the longest on the stopwatch. So, a little bit of review here. Saturday's prediction, you said Frost will win it, will go longer. Frost did win it. We're talking against Derek Kobaba. And he scored 90 and a half points. That was the one he needed on Saturday night that advanced him into the seventh round and set him up for that big win in the short round. So 90 and a half points, he wins that matchup. And Kobaba was 3.59 on the stopwatch. And then the matchup between Vastbinder and Mitchell. You said Mitchell, and Vastbinder actually won it by 0.6 of a second on the stopwatch. So you lost that one. Won the first one, lost the 2nd one. Then you said, between Dalton Castle, Cooper Davis. You said Davis. Castle actually won it. 4.46 seconds against 2.72. So, as that turned out, you were 33%. Okay, 33% for the night. Running total. Now wait. Running total. That puts you on 15 matchups because we didn't do them all. We didn't do every round.
Yeah.
You won 6, lost 9, 40%. You know, if you were in baseball, you would be getting awards for this. You'd be all over ESPN because you're batting 400. And maybe if you rode 40% of your bulls, you're having a pretty good year, I would say.
Well, we're not in baseball, and I guess wrong more than I guessed right.
Well,
But in my defense, the ones that we didn't play, I'd have won them all.
all right. Well, maybe
Yeah. Mhm.
I don't think it works that way, but I can see how
Oh,
you might
okay.
say that. I can see how you might
Yeah.
say that. So then, just for fun, and we did this today, and I said, be honest. Overall, just the pure finals. Who do you think will perform better, Frost or Kobaba? You said Frost, and you were right. Right? You were right. And what I did was just take total ride points. And Josh Frost comes in with 250 and a half, and Kobaba had 89 and a half points. I said, okay, who rides better? Vastbinder versus Mitchell. You said I would have chosen Vastbinder. Actually, it was Mitchell came through. He had the one ride for 87 and a half, 87 and 3/4 points, so you lost that one. Then I said Davis versus Castle. You said Davis, Castle by 1.89 points against an 88. So you're a third there overall. Throwing that into the pot, you lose 1 percentage point. You're 7 for 18, 7 wins, 11 losses, 39%, Sam. What do you need in the off season? What do you need in the off season to improve your predictions? What are you thinking?
I better study up a
You
little
think
more.
so? And I heard, I
Yeah.
don't know if you heard Cody Lambert one night. They said the same thing to him. They said, "Hey, you're not doing very well on your picks," and Cody said, "No, I'm doing fine on my picks. These Cowboys just aren't riding the way they're
I
supposed to ride."
remember that. Yeah. Yeah, they're not doing what I told them to do.
Yeah, don't look at
But
me. Don't look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like on the last three there, 1 point cost me from being 66% to 33%. 1 point. Well, what the heck?
Yeah, so it come down in a lot of cases by a tenth of a second or a 2/100ths of a second. But I like doing this. It was good, and things
Yeah.
simply happen. We thought Vastbinder was in pretty good shape when he came in. He got sore, and Ezekiel. I'm so proud of him for making. First off, he made a believer of me, as crazy as it sounds, with Dennis the Menace last weekend.
Yeah.
Oh,
hmm
oh, I mean, he tried
And,
that bull. Oh my goodness, he tried. Go ahead.
and I thought he would fit him. But what I was going to say, Doug, is there's got to be some kind of betting game in this right here, what we're doing. There's got to be something,
I think
you know.
so. I do. I
Yeah,
do.
I do too.
Okay. And think of how we can do this. Well, now you're into teams, so now we're into the natural thing, right? Now we're into the natural thing. So,
Okay.
okay, who do you think's going to win in this matchup, right? And we'll sit down before the season starts and says, okay, who do you think's going to win overall? So we'll have something to run all the way through. So we just got to think about it, Sam,
Okay.
but we'll put a game together and
Yep.
maybe our listeners got some ideas, but every matchup, every game, every weekend should have some consequence to it. Because I'm telling you, I watch the sport differently when we go through our predictions and we've got our data. I'm sitting there with my computer, Sam, and I'm putting in their times or I'm putting in their scores right on the spot. Like the
Yep.
old days of announcing, we simply
hmm
you got to have the information to be able to be able to make the intelligent conversation later, and it just invests you in the game in the sport differently. So we ought to come up with something because I think our listeners could really enjoy it, especially during the team season.
And yeah, it would make it more exciting for everybody because you got something invested. It's like horse racing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm not saying we're going to put money on it, but
Oh
horse
no.
racing where you got, well,
Yeah.
it'd be nice if you could, but
Well,
maybe the whatever that is that controls the betting
the
process might not
handicapping.
like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And
Well,
I mean we can make book. We can take all these ourselves. I mean it's not legal,
oh,
legal, legal,
okay.
legal.
Well,
But we could no, you'd have to do it pari-mutually the way the horse racing does. So the house never
oh,
loses, right? Never wins, never
uh,
loses.
well,
Yeah.
I want to win.
You want to win.
If we're
Okay.
gonna do it, I want to
Okay.
win. But so
Okay.
just bet against me every time, and then split the profits with
that
me because there's enough for both of us.
that may be what it's about.
uh,
All right.
but yes, it would make it more exciting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I found myself rooting for people I would never root for because I
Right.
picked them.
Right. Right.
Don't make
So
me look stupid.
absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely, and I think it can change. There's two. When we get in teams, we'll figure it out. Okay, I think there's something there. All right,
yeah.
let's. Speaking of winning and so forth, let's go to the Bulls and riding
So,
solo. Riding solo wins the year-end championship, and Cool Whip comes in number one into the finals, drops all the way to fourth. So some of the stuff we talked about earlier, rested, at peace, quiet, the right food, the right diet, the right temperatures, all that stuff. What's your takeaway? What's your takeaway on Cool Whip dropping from first to fourth over the weekend?
and I don't know anything about these bulls other than looking at them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Riding solos looks like he's probably half wired up most of the time.
Okay.
Cool Whip looks like he's just going to lounge out and lay out, and he might have just needed a little more exercise or a little more leanness to
Okay.
to get back to where he was. I don't know, but those guys are the best bowmen in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why should I say
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah.
Dalen teaches me stuff every day about him.
Okay.
I just put him in the shoot and flank him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
these are the best bull people in the world. Just Cool Whip just looks sluggish to me, just like he was just sluggish.
Okay.
Every trip.
Yeah.
He got better as he went, but he just looked sluggish.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, so the way it came down, riding solo was in first place. Flapjack, who kind of made a surge there at the end. And then UTC Best Tex Legend came in third, and then Cool Whip, and finally, then top five is Ricky Vaughn. And I like that Ricky Vaughn bull. He's just an interesting bull to me. Your
Yeah, he messed
prediction.
up yesterday.
He did.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. No, go
Yeah.
ahead. He messed up
No,
yesterday.
well, he hit the chute or
Oh,
something, and they
okay.
had to give a rewrite on him. But
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Dalen's had that bull in the past? Ricky Vaughn?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that I remember.
Okay. Yeah, that he's a neat bull. Just
Yeah.
neat. Your prediction way back when, 2 weeks ago, you said riding solo will be the bull of the year. Exactly right. Exactly right. Let's see how you did. Remember, you picked to win the championship. Jose Vitor Lemmy picked him for both the finals and the year-end championship. We know DeBrito did both those things, but I think at one point I said, "Do you have to win the finals to win the championship?" And the answer came down to it. Now I'm wondering if one of the guys a little bit further back may not have been the same outcome. You said who to watch. You said Josh Frost, and through the first 5 rounds, we're like, "Are you sure?" Boudreaux Campbell did well. Let's watch Davis. Is he on fire? And as it turns out, you were spot on. Josh Frost had a heck of a. He turned it all up and turned it all on. Sixth round, seventh round, eighth round on a 74 point pulls a ton of money, and just looks so solid in those last 3 rounds. And then finally, we talked about it. You said 1.4 million if you win the finals, including everything, year end and so forth. And son of a gun, that was spot on. That was just right where it needed to be. So 30th year. What an interesting year. If they don't make a movie about that finals, I don't. Now also, Laura told me that on Prime there is a PBR bull riding series that we want to follow, or a documentary or a reality show or something.
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
You'll have to keep me informed on
it's
that.
coming out. You may have to
On
get
Prime.
it on Prime. You may have to get it.
What? Yeah, what's Prime? Is that one of those streaming?
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
On Amazon Prime. They're saying May 31st. Okay?
Oh,
May 31st it's coming out, and Laura claims Dalen is a part of this whole thing. So you haven't seen camera crews running around backing everybody up and so forth. You haven't seen that, Sam? Lights.
yes, I've seen that.
Okay.
But that was about a year ago.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Like right after he won the finals last
and
year, they came out.
this could be totally
And
what that's about then, Sam.
that could be. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because I mean, you get to be a champion like that. Of course, there's cameras and lights around you all the time, right? That's just how this
Yeah,
goes.
here, old man, hold that light for right there. Don't move. I seen you move. I
Yeah.
said, don't move.
I,
Hold that there.
I said, get my good side. Get my good side. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And we still don't know who replaces Flint Rasmussen. We don't know. But you got an interesting thought on this as we head into teams, Sam.
Yeah, I thought they would announce it there
Mm-hmm.
to get people fired up, but now they're going into the team thing, and that's done a little different. You don't need to clown as much,
Yeah.
and and actually they tried it without the clown the first event, and it didn't
Yeah.
didn't
I remember that.
didn't go over real well.
Yep.
But I think they're going to probably use a few different people and trial and error and see who they like the best,
Okay.
and
Okay.
hire them from there.
Okay. And that's an
Just
interesting. Yeah.
just an opinion.
Yeah, I like that idea. Let's have some live tryouts, A lot at
Yeah.
risk. Let's see how you do under pressure. And Flint Rasmussen's not going away. We're going to see him in the broadcast booth.
And when they're trying these guys out if that's the route they
Mm-hmm.
take.
Mm-hmm.
That it's all going to be about crowd interaction and everything. And when I was putting on rodeos, I didn't get to watch a lot because you're busy, but I was listening constantly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the clown that I really had the crowd involved with, no matter what, like Flint was so great at,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
all good at it.
Yeah.
Um, that's that's who will probably get the job.
Okay. Okay. And for the record, we've worked with Princeton James for a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
So we
He
know all
he
about
was
him, right? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, he was probably about the same age as the boys when I adopted him, and he
Yeah.
was with his dad
Yeah.
constantly in the arena. And
Absolutely.
then hired him to do Rawhide Rodeo Canada events and used him the whole year till he got too big to come back to us. So
Exactly. Exactly. Went to
good
St.
kid.
Tite. Went to St. Tite, right? So
Yep. Hmm.
yeah, yeah, he's got his roots in the Northeast for sure. We'll talk about him, and then and as you said, as a stock contractor, you'd be paying attention and listening, and that brings up a story that I remember. For where were we? Ford City. Okay, brings
Okay.
up a
Ford
story.
City.
We were at Ford City. Had something to do with Robbie Hodges, and there was a scissor lift.
Oh,
Okay, we won't
yeah.
go any further than that. But I remember you heard that. I do remember you
Yeah.
heard that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll save that for another day. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As we wrap up, anything going on with family that you would like to share, Sam?
Uh, well, Carrie just was at a wedding for her sister's Loretta's son got married,
Mm-hmm.
and Seth, and she was out there for the weekend and heading back to Texas now. She is so. Um,
Oh, nice. Okay.
that's about the only family event stuff we had.
Okay. And speaking of Loretta and her husband SL, we need to get them on the show, Sam. There's so much rodeo history there, right? Great trick riding duo. Lots of stories there to share, and spend a lot of time up in the Northeast.
Phenomenal entertainers,
Yep.
just phenomenal.
Yep.
Good people, and SL is such a professional, and Loretta, she is so athletic and just you know just phenomenal.
Yep. And spent time down by me here, down around the Knoxville area. Dixie Stampede for years. He
Yep,
ran that show for years, and so much talent that came through there. Trick riders, trick roping, you name it. There was just so much talent, and we saw a lot of that talent come north into the Northeast as we were doing rodeos. So we've got to pull that all together somehow, Sam.
yeah, it was nice. SL working there, and
Hmm.
he'd say, "Well, this announcer's really good. If you need somebody, use him." And these trick riders are really good, and it was putting on rodeos. It was always nice to have a bullpen basically,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
going down and watching the shows gave me new perspective of things, and it was just good,
You bet.
just great times.
You bet. You bet. We had some great talent come through the Northeast. Well, again, we'll talk about that on another day on another podcast. All right. Anything else? I usually ask about Colton. Don't want to pry. Anything there?
Well, I talked to Colton today,
Okay.
and he was he just got done riding a colt, helping Dalen. He went to Dalen's and worked cows and stuff. So
Okay. Okay.
he put this horse in a sale, and, and I said, "Well, how'd she go?" And he said, "This is a nice horse. This is a
Okay.
nice horse." So
Okay.
now I got to think of what to do because I don't want him giving away a nice horse.
For sure. For sure. And maybe what we do, and I've been thinking a little bit about this. I mean, first off, does Colton know we ask about him and we're kind of nosy? Does he know about that, Sam?
I don't think so. He
Okay.
may. I don't
Okay.
think so. I not
Okay.
told him.
Oh, okay. Well, be careful there. But it may,
Yeah, I better tell him, huh?
yeah, maybe so. But we want to keep, yeah. Let's keep peace in the family. So maybe in the future we talk a little bit about some of the horses because I'm really interested some of the bloodlines and that sort of thing that you guys are working. I know you got a bunch of horses in training right now. And you talked about him standing on their back and twirling the rope and all kind. You got barrel racing horses he's working on. You got a little bit of everything down there, don't you?
Yeah, they're doing really good, and I think you ought to talk to Colton because he knows about them more. And to be truthful, I just bought them, and Colton is doing everything with
Right,
them.
right.
I clean the stalls and feed them sometimes, but
Okay, right, right.
he doesn't let me get on them because he knows that I don't. You know,
Yeah.
I'm more of a okay, not a horseman. I'm a
Okay, okay.
cowboy type.
Well, you might want to
You know,
talk with him about that and see if he'd be interested in sharing. Might as well get the word out there.
yeah, yeah. And these are some really nice bred horses, and yeah, it's really good.
Good, good.
Good.
All right, Sam, anything else that you can think of?
No, I think we're good, Doug.
Okay, all right. Well, goodbye, Sam. Be safe. Take care of things. Stay cool up there.
Oh, the weather's perfect up here today, and thank you for everything. I'm not sorry that the finals is over, but now we'll get down to when we do talk a little more general instead of pushing so much in one event. So
That's
this is good.
exactly right. Exactly right. All right, Sam. Take care. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for joining us today as we wrapped up the PBR World Championship. This past week, we have covered the 2023 PBR Championship. Now, we did this remotely and with an armchair quarterback's advantage. Our opinions are just that. Congratulations to Rafael Jose de Brito for winning the Rookie of the Year and the 2023 PBR World Championship. And a big congratulations to Pennsylvania's very own Braidy Randolph with a very impressive fourth place in the finals. We want to thank you for listening as Sam and I got to have a lot of fun in our conversations. Next on our agenda will be focused on the PBR teams. It will be a review, a preview, and maybe we can get Sam to make some predictions. We're on Spotify. Search for Beyond the Chutes and follow us. Remember, check out the New York State Rodeo Museum Facebook group page and become a member. This is Beyond the Chutes. Until next time, this is Doug Simcox. Thank you for listening.